What do you think of Melo and the Nets?
The Nets are in the middle of a gap year, George. They will be soon. The Nets are a year away from being a year away because Kevin Durant isn't there this year, and it's going to take Kevin coming off an Achilles injury another year to find his rhythm and get back. So whether they added Melo or not, I don't really think it's a big deal either way. As somebody who's followed Melo's career his whole time in the league and respects the hell out of what he's done in his career, I think he just desperately wants to get back in. So whether it's the Nets or anywhere else, Melo is telling everybody who will listen that he wants a place in the league. You don't sit down with Stephen A. for an hour on national TV and plead your case and say, you know what, I'll be whatever any team needs me to be. So the Nets or otherwise, Melo's still a really good player on some level, much more so than a lot of the guys who are on teams. I just don't know what he's going to give a team on a nightly basis, on a consistent basis anymore.
Well, and I'll say two things here. One, I wouldn't put too much stock into saying this is family because that's said all the time. The NBA is family. The individual teams are family. You move from one family to another family the next day. So that's one thing I'd kind of put to the side. And secondly, the Nets cap situation is tight. Their money is tight. So what role is Melo willing to play on a team like that, right? Is he willing to come in and sit on the bench and be that veteran presence? I don't know. If he is, then he could be a fit for a team that's young and forming their identity. If he's not, then he's not the right guy, the right vet for a team that has a good culture and is still building.
Right. Can his ego handle being the family elder then?
And if this hasn't made it so that his ego can handle that, then I don't know what will.
To his point, he did say this on the Stephen A. interview that he's willing to be whatever he needs to be, right? Like he said, I'm one of the best 450 players in the league. And he said he's willing to come off the bench. The question is, will he do that with a couple of DNPs mixed in, right? Is that a possibility? But I'm bearish on this Nets team. Like, I don't think this Nets team is going to be as good as people think. I know Karis LeVert's great. Kyrie is great individually. But I question what Kyrie can do, especially with a team that isn't a surprise anymore. They're not catching anyone off guard anymore. People know the Nets are pretty good. So it's going to be fascinating to see how Kenny Atkinson and these guys kind of mix this particular season. So I think they could use all the firepower they can get, even if it's Melo in a limited role.
But this is a problem, George. Is Melo one of the top 450 players worthy of an NBA contract? Sure. Is he the 450th ego in the league, though? Hell no. This is a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame. This is a guy who was out of basketball and watching all these other players be on the platform that he lived on for a decade plus. I just don't know at this point if he can handle 3 or 4 games where he doesn't play and everybody's sitting there looking at him going, can Melo still do anything at this point in his career? I don't know if he wants that part of it bad enough, and I don't know if a team wants to deal with whatever may come after a week when he doesn't play.
Yeah, that's the true test. I don't think there's any question about that.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.